Hey everyone. Today, we're diving into something that really gets to the core of how our societies work. Or, well, sometimes don't work. We're talking about the erosion of trust in the news. We're going to be breaking down this incredible analysis all about the state of media in Nepal, where this global problem is playing out in some really urgent and unique ways.
And look, before we even get started, we've got to give a huge shout out. This whole explainer is possible because of the amazing work of Dambar Singh Sood. He's an assistant professor at Sudar Paskham University. And a big thank you as well to Sudar Habra Media for publishing it, and to platforms like A Holistic Education for getting these important ideas out there. You know, it's this kind of work that really pushes the conversation forward, and we're just so grateful to be able to share it with you.
All right, so here's the plan. First, we're going to look at the crisis itself. Then we'll dig into what's causing all this bias and misinformation and why it's such a threat to democracy. After that, we'll flip to the solutions, the path forward. And finally, we'll talk about the role we all play in this. Sound good? Let's jump in.
You've probably heard journalism called the fourth pillar of society, right? It's supposed to be this essential watchdog, the one keeping everyone in power honest. But in Nepal's really complex social and political landscape, that pillar is starting to show some deep cracks. We're seeing this massive crisis of trust, and it's all being fueled by biased, misleading news. It's shaking the very foundation of things.
So, how did we get here? How did things get so bad? To really get it, we've got to look under the hood and see what's actually driving all this misleading information and making it so dangerously common. Okay, so the analysis breaks it down into four main things. First up, there's political proximity. Basically, journalists get a little too close to political parties and it starts to color their reporting. Then you've got economic interests, when making money from ads becomes more important than telling the truth. Third, good old sensationalism, twisting facts just to get more clicks and eyeballs. And finally, the big one, social media amplification. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire, spreading unverified stuff like crazy.
And this quote right here, wow, it just hits the nail on the head. This isn't some academic debate, right? When the news is biased, it has real-world consequences. It literally robs people, you, me, everyone, of the facts we need to make good decisions. Decisions about our lives, our communities, our leaders. It takes away our power.
And when that happens to millions of people all at once, well, the problem gets a whole lot bigger. It's not just about a few bad decisions anymore. When the entire system you rely on for information is broken, you're not just getting facts wrong. You're looking at a serious, direct threat to society itself, to the whole democratic process.
I mean, just look at the clash here. Misinformation twists what people think, but democracy needs people to be informed. Misinformation tears us apart, when what we really need is healthy debate. It destroys trust in our institutions, when accountability and transparency are absolutely crucial. It's pretty clear, right? They just can't coexist. One actively undermines the other.
Okay, so we've spent some time on the problem, and it's pretty heavy stuff, but it's not hopeless. So now let's pivot. Let's talk about the way out of this mess. The article lays out some really practical, actionable solutions for how we can start to rebuild that trust and bring integrity back to journalism.
So the author gives us a really clear four-step game plan. Step 1, professional training. Let's get journalists regular training on ethics and fact-based reporting. Step 2, mandatory verification. It means reporters have to use real sources, real data, not just rumors. Step 3, fight back with fact-checking. We need to use these platforms to actively shut down misinformation online. And step 4, and this is the big one for the long run, media literacy. We need to teach critical thinking about media right from school.
And here's the most important part. This is not just a job for journalists to fix on their own. No way. It's a team effort. Media companies have to step up on ethics, the regulatory groups need to make sure standards are met, civil society has to keep pushing for accountability, and then there's us. We, the citizens, have a huge role to play in thinking critically about what we read and what we share.
So as we get to the end here, the main point is crystal clear. Fixing this isn't about some single magic bullet solution. It's about everyone, every single part of society, coming together to remember what journalism is really for and committing to that purpose.
Because let's be real, when it's done right, independent journalism is so much more than just information. It's not just a list of things that happen today.
It's the protector of society, of democracy, of our civil rights. That's what the author says, and it's so powerful. It's what keeps things transparent, what allows for real debate, what gives us power as citizens. And that ideal, well, that's something worth fighting for.
So we want to leave you with a question to think about. We've talked a lot about shared responsibility. So what's your piece of that? What's your role? What's one small thing you can do, maybe even starting today, to help build a healthier, more honest information society?